Psychiatrist Lise Van Sustern is here right now talking about the mental health effects of climate change. So how does it impact mental well-being?
Oh boy, how much time have you got? Everything that has to do with climate change is potentially harmful to our public health. And if you look simply starting with extreme weather events, both the direct trauma of having been hurt or having someone you love hurt and losing your possessions, maybe your pets, your community is wiped out, you can just imagine. And in fact, mental health professionals and others in this sector are already seeing a huge upsurge in lots of psychiatric disorders, bona fide psychiatric disorders, generalized anxiety, post-traumatic stress, major depression, drug and alcohol abuse as people struggle to cope, domestic violence with child abuse on the rise. And so what we understand is all of this is brewing.
Are some groups more vulnerable to the impacts of mental health as it relates to climate change?
Of course. And we now often hear that those who are least responsible for the problem are most vulnerable. And among those, of course, I can rattle it off, it's people who don't have a lot of money to move out of harm's way. Of course, we saw this in the recent storms. People lost huge amounts of their nest egg as their belongings were destroyed and they were uninsured. And then there, of course, the elderly and people who are in low-lying coastlines around the world who are prone to a drought and heavy rainstorms, wiping out an agrarian economy. There's all of that.
In the aftermath of hurricanes, Harvey, Irma, Maria, you must have some personal stories of people who have been impacted, but there's a short-term and a long-term impact, correct?
Absolutely. The short term is, of course, that people are deeply traumatized. And it's sort of a spectrum where some people are just plain born resilient. No matter what you throw at them, they seem to emerge okay. And then there are others who are more vulnerable. And so what we see over time is that the vulnerable ones can sometimes get worse, and the resilient ones can rise to the occasion. But you see a fraying of society. Initially, people tend to be more helpful. But as time goes on and the remedies don't appear, they recognize that it's going to get harder and harder to recover. Then civil unrest begins to emerge.
What do you think public health should be doing to alleviate some of the impacts of climate change on mental health?
So this is the classic formula for threat perception and risks. You have to say stuff that makes people pay attention, because that's when you have the best chance of getting people to take action. So I get chided for being doom and gloom. That's not it. It's a two-step process. Say it like it is, and then segue to what we can do. All right, so here's what we can do. I look at it in with three legs. First of all, what we can do personally, what we can do in our communities, and then third of all, what we can do in the larger world. This is now the deciding factor. So we can go on, but we do need to say that people in public health have a special influence on the people around them. We're trusted. We recognize that we have something to give, and so there's an authenticity. People respond to us, they'll listen to us, and we can make the issue of restoring Eden, so to speak, a health issue, because that we know is a really effective message.
Dr. Van Sustern, thank you.